Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, has anyone here ever run a lottery syndicate at work?
No.
You may recognise some of this then, Phil. I don't know what possessed me to volunteer to do it with hindsight. I wouldn't advise it to anyone. There's one advantage, I suppose. You're going to get known by everyone in the company, and you're going to get to know everybody. Always useful. And of course, there's some chance of winning serious money. There are far more disadvantages though. John always forgot to get the money for his stake, and he said, could I come back later when he'd have time to go to the cash point? Tracy was short of cash, and could I sub her until next week when she'd pay me twice? The MD was the worst of the lot then. He earned the most in the company, but we all knew he was under the thumb and his wife kept him short of funds. But he was also tighter than the proverbial drum. Sometimes he went 3 weeks without paying me. I was starting to get really fed up. But it would have all been worth it if our numbers had come up. I'd have a small fortune and I'd be more popular than the sight of a crackling log fire on a freezing cold day. Just to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the syndicate picks a different set of 6 numbers, and your chances of winning are multiplied by the number of people in your syndicate. It ran really smoothly for years. And we had lots of small wins. We even won 5 numbers once, but we were waiting for the big one. We really enjoyed sharing our stories and our dreams of all the wonderful things we were going to do when our numbers came up. One week, I'd worked really long hours, and I'd had to go to work as well to do overtime on Saturday. I came home and I sat down and I was exhausted, and I felt myself nodding. I looked up at the clock and it was 7:15. The lottery closed at all the terminals nationally on Saturday at 7:30. A worm burrowed into my brain. I was going burning hot, then freezing cold. Beads of sweat rolled along the bowling alley of furrows on my brow and dropped onto my clammy shirt, where a cold, heavy vice was crushing my heart. Kaleidoscope of colours and thoughts flashed and fired like New Year fireworks in my head, until time suspended and there was one thought in my head. I hadn't put the syndicate's money on. Then there was another thought. What if this is the week our numbers come up? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No, 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 no. Oh God, what could I do? What if we won? I'd owe millions. Everyone would want to kill me, sue me. I'd lose my job. I'd have to leave the country. Then I remembered that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act while facing fear. I rushed out. I drove to the local newsagent like a racing car off the grid. I ran into the shop, but there was a queue. I looked more and more manic. I was shaking. I was pacing. I was sweating. I was waiting in that queue like a crackhead waiting for Then there was one person in front, just one person. I was praying. Then it was my turn. But the guy looked at me, manning the lottery terminal, and he said, "It's just closed. Sorry, you're too late." "No! I've got to get a stake on!" He said, "Nothing to do with me. The lottery's closed. You should have come here earlier." I was turbocharged with terror. My world felt like it had become an arid apocalypse, enveloped with a dark, malevolent cloud of despair. What was I going to do? The hounds of hell were baying. The blood-red flames of the furnace were licking my feet. I don't remember driving home. I must have, and I had to wait, and wait, and wait, until the lottery numbers were drawn on the telly later that night. I was pacing, up and down, inner voices whispering, "You're finished! Your life is over as you know it." A lizard slithered in my brain. Discordant notes were twanging. My blood was coagulating. The taste in my mouth was rancid. I felt like a chunk. I was getting more and more breathless as the time approached. Suddenly, my head hit the coffee table. My eyes jerked open. It was a dream. Oh God, thank you! I was saved. The glistening sun shone from a cloudless azure sky. 1,000 sprinkles of gratefulness descended on me, showered on me. I was out of death's damned embrace. Oh, thank God. I started to feel ecstatically excited. It was taking me over. The relief. Oh, it was wonderful. I happened to look at the clock. It was 7:15. It was really 7:15. The worm that had burrowed into my brain in my dream started to chomp. It was eating all the flesh. It was removing any shred of hope. The long, bony hand of the Grim Reaper was boring into my heart. I'm on my way to the car. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't advise running the Works Lottery Syndicate. I think my numbers well and truly up.